The new AI tools inside of Adobe's new Photoshop beta are a complete game changer. If you do any kind of image creation or editing, you're going to be able to save so much time and create whatever your imagination can come up with. Now, the only limit to what you can do with your photos is your own creativity, because these new tools are super easy to use. And today I'm going to show you some of the new awesome ways that you could interact with your images and create anything you want. And if you want to use some of these awesome new AI features in Photoshop, you're going to need to download Photoshop Beta. And if you already have a subscription to Adobe, you already have Photoshop, you already have access to this. So what you're going to need to do is go to your Creative Cloud. You're going to go to your apps. You're going to go down here to this beta section. You'll see a bunch of beta apps that you have. We're going to focus on this Photoshop one right now. We already have it installed. If you don't have it installed, you're just going to click on this button here. It's going to say install, and you're going to install it on your device. And now that you have Photoshop beta installed on your computer, you're going to be able to do a lot of cool things I'm going to show you in this video, like easily adding, removing, or changing objects in photos, combining two photos, expanding the borders of photos, colorizing old photos. A lot of cool stuff you're going to do here, and it's all very simple. But if it's your first time here on the channel, hit that subscribe button for the more AI adventures. We're going to cover everything that I'm learning in AI, all these cool things to help make our lives easier. And I'm going to show you everything that I'm learning here. So this was the image that we made yesterday in Midjourney and used that face swap app to put our face onto Rambo. And what we could do as we bring this into the Photoshop beta version, we could select anything in this photo. So what I'm going to do is try to get a good selection of a hair here. We want to try to get these selections as close as possible. We wouldn't want to do too big of an object around the subject that we're trying to change here. So I'm going to try to get as close as possible. It's kind of a messy selection here, but now we're going to just try to change this here. We're going to go blonde hair and see what it generates. Hopefully it generates something good. Let's see if it generates something good or bad. And you see the processing here in real time. It is very, very easy to use, and it connects to the internet. So you're connecting with the Adobe servers, and that is not blonde hair. There's a little blonde hair in the back. There's some blonde hair there, and he has some blonde hair there. So interesting thing that they chose a hat here. Let's actually go with this selection here. Let's do another selection. Let's give them a hat. Now with this selection, what we want to do is kind of outline where we want to go with this. So if we want a baseball hat, maybe here, let's try to do that, and then select and then type in baseball hat. And we're going to have 3 images to select from, or it's 3 AI generated images to select from. And we could toggle them with this button here of a baseball cap there to the side. We also can use this section here and just toggle through these. And interesting selection there. So we got a baseball hat. Let's add some sunglasses to this character here. So now let's go around here and add maybe some aviator glasses. And you can just keep adding a bunch of stuff, removing a bunch of stuff in the photo as well. So we're going to add these sunglasses, but then let's do something with this fire here. Let's say we wanted this fire out of the section here, and these glasses, they're not very good. I guess we could keep this one. That's probably the least bad one, but let's do this. We're going to go here, and this fire, we're going to try to eliminate this fire here. So let's try to get a good selection as possible. And now we have the fire selected, and what we're going to do, we're just going to go generative fill. We're not going to type anything into the box. We're going to type generate. And what this should do is remove the fire that we have right here and just give it the background. Let's see if it does that. That is what we want it to do. And let's see if it recognizes the command that we typed in, which was nothing. And there it goes. That fire is gone. The fire is also gone. Still have a little flame coming out there. I think the first version is the best. So this is another image that we generated in Midjourney yesterday, and we used the face swap app to get my face onto this image. If you want to see how we did that, make sure you check out yesterday's video. We're going to actually do something a little different with this image. We're going to select the crop tool here, and if we could select it, there we go. Now what we're going to do is expand the top, the right, the left, and the bottom a little so we can expand this picture. And what we're going to do is use the AI from Photoshop to create a full picture here. So now we have a larger image, and now what we have to do is select the image. We're going to try to get a good selection here. What we want to do is get some of the pixels from the actual image so that the AI from Photoshop has something to generate the rest of the image from. So now we're going to do this. We've got that photo. We're going to inverse this selection here. That's very important because you want the majority of this white selected with just a little bleed here. So we're going to select this generative fill. And now we're going to generate. And what AI from Adobe Photoshop is going to do, it's going to fill out the rest of the image based on what you see here. So it should have the rest of the background, should have a little more expansion of the character. There you can see him trying to run there. We see a very wet background for the first selection. The second one, the legs look a little weird here too, and the ground looks like it's on wood. And let's see this last selection here. Oh, wow, this looks weird. The ground looks pretty good, but the legs look a little weird. Let's go with this first selection here. Now what we're gonna do is use this object selection tool to allow us to select some of these objects here. Now, Adobe Photoshop is looking what are the different objects in the scene. It's gonna allow us to easily select any of these objects to quickly switch up what we want in this picture. So once it gets the selection here, once it's done processing, we're gonna be able to select all this stuff here. So we can select the background or the ground here. We can select some of these individual soldiers. We can select the sky here. What we're gonna do for this example though, we're gonna select this background, and what we actually wanna do is choose this selection and expand it by a few pixels. That way the AI from Photoshop has a few more of these pixels to generate this from. Now what we wanna do, let's call this green grass. So instead of being a more city section, let's see if we can get that generation to more of a country section in the field. Let's see what this green grass looks like. And we have some bigger pieces of grass. Looks a little more like hay. That is not green grass, and that is not green grass either. So let's actually use this one. This one I think looks the worst bad out of all of them. Let's get this selection for the top again. Let's select the top, and we can switch the background. There we go. We have the sky there. And what we're gonna do is expand this selection again. We're gonna expand it by 10 pixels. Now what we wanna do, let's call it a tropical beach with trees. Let's generate that. That should generate some sky there. And hopefully this one looks nice as well. We got the expanded selection, and hopefully we could get this to look more like a World War II picture from the Pacific Theater rather than the European theater. And there is one of them. There's another one with palm trees. I think this one looks the least bad. So there's still some wonkiness going on, but as far as the time it took to do all this, very, very good image selection. If we want to do one more thing, what we could do is use this selection tool here, and we could try to generate a suit. So let's see, we could put our character here into a suit jacket. Sometimes these look good, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the AI like screws up with the arms a little. So let's try to get a good selection here. And I think that's an okay selection. Let's go suit and tie. Let's see what this generates with him and see if it puts him a little more formal other than this war background. All right, and we got some weird suits there. This doesn't look too bad. Oh, he has a nice tie there, and I like that the color scheme matches what he's wearing there, the formal World War II outfit. This one doesn't look as good. I think the best one is this one here, although the arms look a little weird with this one. So if you look what we did to the picture, this is the original here. It's just based off of that, and then we added the rest of these onto them. So this is the final version of that picture. Another fun thing that people are doing online now is expanding album covers. So this is the classic Beatles album cover of Abbey Road. Let's expand this and see where they're walking here. Let's see what Adobe thinks they're doing here. So let's do this. Let's expand that. Let's click this rectangle selection tool here. We're gonna invert it. And now we're just gonna generative fill and see what Adobe creates for the rest of the Beatles and the street scene. Let's see if it matches. And it looks pretty good. It's got 3 images there. And I'd say it looks pretty good. Now, I haven't been to this street in England, but yeah, it looks really, really nice. I like what it's done here. Now we have another AI generated image. This one again from Midjourney. This one in a more anime style. What we're gonna do is combine this with another image in a similar style. So what we're gonna do is we have that crop tool selected. We're gonna zoom out of this and we're gonna make this really, really big. We're gonna expand this selection here, be pretty big. And what we wanna do is move this selection maybe around here. And now what we're gonna do is load our next image in. So the next image, the similar style anime image, very similar prompts that we used in Midjourney for both of these. But as you can see, they're very different images. Now, the next thing we need to do, we need to make sure that both of these images are in the same layer. So what we're gonna do is select this control to select both of them. And now what we're gonna do is merge these visible layers into one, and there it is. Now, we're gonna select these images. So we're gonna make sure that we get some good selections here. We're gonna select right there, and we're gonna select, click Shift, and select inside here. And what we want is to make sure that we have some of these pixels that the AI from Photoshop can work with. And now what we're gonna do is invert this selection there, and we're just gonna go generate fill. We're gonna leave this blank, and it should combine these images to make one image that kind of matches. And all right, so the images kind of match up. This one kind of matches. We see the water there, and we see some grass here, so kind of a weird selection would match up there. This one matches pretty good. We see more of the expansion here, going into more expansion in this image there. And the third selection, this one's probably my least favorite. I think my favorite would probably be this, probably be the first one there, but pretty good results for the amount of time that we've spent. It looks like it's kind of combining the image. You could kind of see the differences between the two images because the colors are slightly different, but I think it did a really good job of combining both of these into a nice seamless image, and all three of these selections actually. So now we have another mid-journey image. These are all AI created. This is not a real photo, but what we're gonna do is colorize this and expand this a little more as well. So we're gonna go to filter, we're gonna go to neural filters, and it opens up this section here. You would need to download this as part of your beta trial, but once you download this colorize, what you can do very easily, toggle this on, and very simply, it colorizes this photo. That simple. That is all I had to do to colorize a photo, guys. Super easy. So that is a new version of Adobe's Photoshop, the beta version, which includes some AI elements. Really cool stuff you could do here, guys. Let me know what is your favorite thing and what is your best use case for all these cool new elements that Adobe has added. And if this video has been helpful, consider subscribing. We're gonna keep you up to date on all the latest in the world of AI and how it's gonna make your life better. I've been Paul. This has been the AI Adventure, and I'll see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.